Hello everyone and welcome back to the Great Book of Grudges. My name is Nathan and we're back with some more news. Festus The Leechlord is the newest legendary lord that has been confirmed. About 2 weeks ago when Creative Assembly leaked it. But leaks aside, we do have some faction mechanics that we can go over, and I think this is a pretty good thing because, I mean, it's Festus The Leechlord. He's a very popular character. I loved him on the tabletop. He's got some good lore. We'll have a lore video on him in the future. So let's just go over with this. And it's hello Total War Warhammer community. Today we're revealing the second legendary lord joining the Champions of Chaos Lord pack. Festus the Leechlord, coming to Total War Warhammer 3 on August 23rd. Dr. Festus is a deranged devotee of Nurgle who pledged a lifetime of service to the Plague God in return for his forbidden knowledge. He goes to war with few intentions beyond furthering his revolting studies of sickness, ailments and plagues. It is a far better fate to die on the battlefield than to be captured for the Doctor's experiments. I guess that's a good way to start things off. And before we actually get into the mechanics, we have a screenshot so we can actually look at some stuff really well, and I think that's going to be a good thing to do. There's also a trailer, but we'll watch this later on in the video and then stop where anything needs to be done. So I want to talk about the screenshot mostly because Festus looks pretty cool, and we get a really good look at the Chaos War Shrine. For those of you who have been following this channel for some time now, I've mentioned the War Shrine a lot. It's one of my favorite miniatures, and we actually get a really nice look at it, which I'm super hyped for. Yes, it's the Nurgle one, and we did get a decent look at it in the Sinesh trailer, but this is far better. We can even see it in the Nurgle trailer too. The War Shrine itself was one of my most anticipated units, so I'm really happy to finally see it here. We also get a little bit of a look to some, well, how the Chaos Warriors of Nurgle are going to look. We can see that there's a Marauder behind Festus, and he's got mutations on his leg. They're not fat, and they're not really supposed to be fat. This is a common misconception where not all Nurgle warriors are actually fat. It's more the Putrid Blightlings, which are, and we don't have the Putrid Blightlings just yet. But I think all in all they look really good. The Sorcerer right next to Festus looks absolutely awesome. I'm a big fan. And I think that we're going to get something really well stylized. I think overall it just feels like they are proper Chaos Warriors of Nurgle. Alright, so we do have some information regarding some faction effects and all that, and we do have some information regarding a personal mechanic, so let's talk about that. Long forgetting the Hippocratic oath he so vehemently preached as Immortal, Festus can be found concocting a variety of horrific potions and unleashing lore of Nurgle spells, both of which allow him to manipulate the battlefield in insidious ways. Okay, so he's a spellcaster too, which is expected because he was a weak spellcaster on the tabletop, but we don't have those limitations here. But now we have something really interesting. While his Healing Elixir's ability replenishes the hit points of his own combatants, the Harbinger of Pestilence ability instead deals damage to enemy combatants. Yet there's a catch. Both act more like a toggleable passive abilities, okay, that are mutually exclusive to use, meaning that only one of the two can be active at any one time. Okay, so you either got a passive healing that can heal your dude, so I'm guessing it's AoE, or a passive damage ability, which I'm assuming is also AoE, because it says that it can deal damage to enemy combatants. It kind of makes sense if the healing elixir is too. Well, it may be not the case, but we're going to have to wait and see. Either way, this sounds pretty interesting. The fact that you've got an option, I think that's pretty cool. I don't know if any other lords have that, but this is quite interesting. It's kind of like having a weapon toggle, but more for a skill, but you know what I mean. Anyways, let's go into faction effects. Vassals gain poison attacks and spread Nurgle corruption, that was expected. Can brew plagues, okay, so we're getting the same mechanic as Kurgath, I completely forgot his name there, which I think is pretty cool. And then souls plus 25 when a plague is spread, okay, so it's still got the soul mechanic, we know this is a big part of the new Chaos Warriors stuff. So spreading it more is going to be good for you to gain souls, which I think is, well, okay, not too bad. Lastly, we're going on to the Lord effects, which is Plague Duration plus 3 turns for local armies. Okay, yeah, not bad, not bad. And Battle Healing Cap plus 25% for Lord's Army. Ooh, okay. So they're going to be very tanky, and I'm hoping that the Nurgle Chaos Warriors have more HP than usual too, because, well, you know, Nurgle Chaos Warriors, they're supposed to be tankier and all that type of stuff. So, healing is going to be really interesting. Yeah, I can't wait to see this. See, I've always been kind of curious about Nurgle, but I didn't really want to play a lot of Kurgath because he kind of lacked a lot. But now with Chaos Warriors, Nurgle seems like it might be fun to play. At least with Festus. We're going to have to wait and see how everything goes, though. there's not much other information, unfortunately, so we'll go to the trailer in just a second. What we do know is that we're getting a Festus Let's Play tomorrow, which is going to be quite cool, because the Azazel one did show off quite a bit. It showed off quite a lot of units too. So, yeah, hopefully we get a nice in-depth look at the Chaos Warriors of Nurgle. But with all that being said, let's look at the trailer, and then we're going to stop and talk about anything important.
Insufficient! No! Of course! The ingredient was life, and it has so willingly come.
That was freaking cool. Honestly, that was freaking cool. And sadly, there's not too much to talk about because we already talked about the units, because the screenshot did show us a lot. Honestly, in general, I'm quite happy with how the trailer looked, because it's a really nice way to introduce Festus, I think, especially versus the ogres. I wonder if this means that he's going to have like a start position near the ogre kingdoms or something. It very much depends. This could just be very much theatrical. But either way, there's some things that I do want to talk about, and I think that it should be quite important. So first up, this animation for me, I really hope this is not developer theatrics and it's actually in-game, because it just looks so cool. And look, the character looks awesome. So, well, we don't know actually this is a character, could just literally be part of the crew, as there's usually a really cool mini that comes alongside of that. A lot of people use that character, sorry, mini once again, as a character in the tabletop, because he just has this really cool look. And it looks like that mini, it's just obviously it's more Nurglified. You can see the mutations, you can see the growths on the legs. Like, dude's got thighs, upper thighs for days, right? So I guess this is the best way that we can actually see the Nurgle Warriors. Obviously, we do have some shots throughout everything, but this is just really, really interesting. I love this. I just love this. I'm such a big fan of the War Shrines. It's absolutely insane that we're finally getting them after so many years of waiting. Then, obviously, this last shot, which is just a backward shot, but we can see some Chaos Warriors of Nurgle. They look more like Chaos Warriors. They're not very heavily mutated, but then again, they usually mutate within the armor, so you don't generally see that unless they get really heavily mutated, and that's when they start becoming like putrid Blight Kings and so on, even though that's something else, but you get what I mean. Honestly, really cool. I really hope that Creative Assembly have planned to sell some posters and so on of shots like this. Well, better framing, but you know what I mean. Stuff like this is just freaking awesome. I'm honestly really excited. Azazel will definitely be my first playthrough because, well, it's Azazel. But Nurgle will likely be my second because we've already got Chaos Warriors of Khorne, and Tzeentch is already powerful as it is. So I wasn't really too bothered about when we'd get some Tzeentchian stuff. But I think like Nurgle will be next because I kind of like Nurgle. I'm a big fan. I've got that army that I need to paint up, that 2,000 points. It's just really, really cool that we're finally getting them, and they look really, really nice. I think this is super, super important. But I'm really excited, and I can't wait to see more. Tomorrow's Let's Play, I'm just hoping, is as long as the Azazel one, so we get to see a little bit of context, maybe get his start positions. Well, we're just going to have to wait and see. But what do you guys think about Festus The Leechlord? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below and let's start a bit of discussion. I'm rather curious to see what you guys think about Nurgle's big boy.